Yes, I'm paying $19 a month for the Restream. But if I'm out walking, I didn't want to go into the Restream studio and set it up, because I don't plan to stream too long unless, a few people pop in and are in the chat talking. But I'm just going to keep kind of make a longer walk than I normally have been doing the past few days, because it'd been a long time since I'd walked. Like once I fell off the wagon, back in September, and then drank like for a month and a half straight, like every day, almost 2/5 a day. Like it didn't start off that bad. I just started off one day with a bottle, probably in the middle of the day. Edie, what are you doing? Get over here. But so it just started off. I think one of the first days I chose to do it was kind of in the daytime, and then it just kind of progressively got to where I was getting up in the mornings, getting up in the morning and already starting, like I'm talking about 5:30, anywhere between 5:30 and 7 o'clock in the morning. If I had the money, I was already over at the store getting a bottle within just a few days of starting back. And that wasn't no fun. I just spiraled downward and closed myself off. Wasn't making content quite as much, wasn't streaming as much. I did stream on a few people's channels and a few times on my channel, but in the state of mind I was in and the drinking, I didn't, like looking hindsight, I would rather not have been doing that, like being out there on a stream knowing that I was, but I've never hid anything from anybody. Like people that have watched the channel for a while, they know that I've been struggling off and on all my life with alcoholism, and then the past few years I've really been putting some good time in with having some sobriety. Now some people, I do believe that 12-step programs are good, and that I've learned a lot from them. But no, like when I first got sober a few years ago, I was I started going to AA again. Went for a while. The local meeting that's here, I'm not particularly fond of the way it's ran. Each group's different, so let's not make that all about that. Of course, I've only been walking for about 3 minutes. As far as I'd already been walking, but I started the live stream about 3 minutes ago. And we'll see if anybody shows up in the chat. But just taking a little bit of a walk. Like I said, this is a longer walk. I just finished discussing during the period of time when I was drinking. When I fell off in September, I'd been about 2.5 months sober at that point, and then I fell off hard. But so the few days ago I started back walking. Hold on a minute, let me see. Hey Troy, hello man, what's up? I'm just out walking, talking. Glad to see you here. And I was just telling anybody that is watching that about, I had a hiatus when I fell off the wagon, and went on for about a month and a half of a binge. It was I was doing, I think the first week I walked a little bit, but then it kind of just tapered off where I wasn't doing anything. And so a couple of days ago I got back out and made myself, so it had been like well over a month or longer I don't know how far back, at least a month, probably about a month or a month and a half since I'd really been doing my walks. Okay, well, hope I didn't run you off. I'm just out walking. And I said hello, you know. So, but you know, you can't predict who might show up in a chat. You can't predict if anybody will interact. I appreciate him even saying hi, Troy. And then sometimes people are looking for some entertainment, and all I'm doing right now is walking. But like if you're somewhere where you can't get out yourself, or you don't have a lot of countryside, like if you're in a congested area and you don't have this kind of scenery, I think that this sometimes appeals to people. And people, especially if they can't get out of their house, or they're like me, they don't have a ride, and it's hard to get around. And if they have a physical condition where they can't really walk and go places on their own, like without assistance, it's I've had some people tell me, you know, like they do enjoy when I'm doing this. Now, of course, I'm not using the gimbal or anything right now. Just holding the phone. I didn't intend on the live stream until I got about to a certain point and just said, I'm going to do a stream. But, as you can see, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I'm in BFE. There's my dog walking with me. Oh, Beatty. Let's see here. Nice scenery though. It's only gonna be up in the 60s today, which we've had 70-degree weather and stuff going on. It's only gonna be like in the 60s today, so, and it's a little cooler this morning than it has been. Heck, the other night I had to take my heavy cover off. I was sweating in the middle of the night. It was like I ran the heater some, and then I turned it off, and I had that cover on, and it was like I felt kind of okay. Yeah, we can cut some of this stuff up into shorts. Okay, so yeah, a car just passed by. I'm gonna try to get something going. I'm gonna try to get Biddy a collar this coming payday, like I've been meaning to for forever. She's never wore a collar, and then I need to. She's not gonna like it, but what I'm wanting to do is get a good strong cable and maybe put her on it like I used to do Ladybird. She'll have to get used to it. Now, Ladybird, I didn't keep on it all the time, but I would let her off every once in a while and let her to get a little bit of freedom. But prior to that, she had ran on her own around. And then me and a neighbor had got into some arguments about me leaving Ladybird out. And Ladybird was barking, and this woman wouldn't shut up, and she called me all kinds of names and stuff. And it was just because I normally would have that Ladybird in by 10 o'clock or 11. So she wouldn't be out there just barking and crazy. But anyway, my intention, because, I hate to do it, but we do live near a main road, and not this type of road, but like I'm talking about like a highway. And I don't want, guess I'll turn around now. I don't want Biddy, there's some cows over there, and I don't need her running and chasing them because the people that own them's house is right there. Here lately, she's been liking to do that. Y'all have to give me a second. If somebody says anything, I might have trouble seeing it right this second. Like turning around and walking this way. Like before, like here, I could use my shadow to see the chat and stuff. But, I might have to turn my screen up a little, but I'll see when somebody says something. So I'm just kind of showing off I'm walking further than I've walked in a month and a half or longer or so. And I've already explained it once or twice or 3 times. So I don't want to go too far into the detail again. But let's see here. Just basically when I fell off the wagon and went on that binge, probably after that first week, I pretty much was not walking at all. Like, so if I was a month and a half of just straight drinking the first week, I probably did do a few walks. By the second week, I was pretty non-existent, doing any kind of walking probably. And then it led into, you know, I went to detox, and I've been out of detox a little over 3 weeks. Been sober 3 weeks on Saturday, this past Saturday. So when I get to next Saturday, it'll be a month. So what I'm trying to do is build my stamina back up and get back into the groove of walking. So the last few days, a few days ago, I took one walk, and it was a lot shorter than this walk has been. But I got one in, and so the next day, I managed to get 2 short walks in. Like one at some point, and then before the sun went down, I did another one. And then yesterday I went to church, a church service, and I didn't think much about walking until it got in the afternoon already, and it was not far. Like the sun was already going down, but it wasn't dark yet. So I got one short walk in yesterday afternoon, but you know, I'd also spent the day out and about and went to a church service, so I had a decent busy. It was fairly productive. Thank you, whoever it is that might be watching. Thanks for hitting that like button too. I appreciate that. And I'm just streaming through the YouTube app right now because, like, I mean, it's kind of stupid because I did pay $19 for the Restream, but trying to set it up through Restream right now, I would have had to went into the Restream studio, set it up on the side. I'd be on the side of the road trying to do it when all I have to do with this is just go in. If I want to title it or schedule it, it didn't take long. Restream, it doesn't take that long either, but I mainly like to use Restream if I think anybody is gonna show up and want to pop in, you know. But I'm out walking right now, so trying, like, if a guest came on right now and me trying to like navigate the controls and all that kind of stuff could be tedious. But I hope anybody that is watching or listening is doing good today. Like I said, I appreciate that someone hit the like button for me. If you haven't, I appreciate it if you do now. Anyway, sometimes you don't think about saying those things, and like I don't say it a lot in my videos even. But here lately I've gotten back into the habit of it. Trying to, sorry if it's all shaky and stuff, I'm just holding it with a hand. It's not too bad. And I do have that gimbal at home. I use it a lot just to make videos. Like, I want to try to set it up at some point through the laptop, like have my phone on it, and see if I'm able to, you know, there's ways to make it work remotely, like you can use hand signals and stuff. But I'm wondering if I can have my phone on it, then connect. I'll just have to look into it. But if I have the computer somehow connected and then a device on it, because it can rotate, I can move it up and down, you know, and it'd be just cool to see what I can do with that type of setup on the tripod of the gimbal. But as far as walking with it, I only tested it out a few times, and like and then of course I went into that period where I was binging and fell off the wagon, so I wasn't even messing with my computer for a while. Now I'm starting to learn a little more about the laptop. I'm gonna take a little breather right here. Right over here under this shade. Ooh. Stop for a second here. Oh man. But yeah, so been walking and talking. So I'm just out here trying to get some exercise, get back in the groove of things. Like I said, I started a few days ago back to my walks. This has been the longest walk I've done. I'd say this walk right here probably equals 2 of my short walks. Because like, if you could, let me turn this back around. You see those cell phone towers? Like what I've been doing is walking to about those cell phone towers, then turning around, and so you can see from the cell phone tower down there, and then I started to go up, like I got down to that driveway down there and then turned around. I had my reasons, because I don't want Biddy, you know. Now, cows that are out in the middle of the field and she'll go chase them and herd them up, and there's nobody around, but that was right at their house, and I don't want somebody getting onto me, because she ain't trying to hurt them or nothing, but maybe I should breathe for a minute. So I hope everybody's doing good. I hope y'all are having a good day. Heck, I've only been on here 16 minutes. It feels like sometimes it feels like 30 minutes, even though I've only been on 15 minutes. I'm really enjoying the sun today, though. Maybe we'll go up here and walk down the gravel road. You want to do that? Anybody? Which several people have done that with me before. I've done a live stream and been on this gravel road before, so I'm pretty sure I closed my door at my trailer. There's another dog there. I didn't want it coming in when we're not there and maybe eating what little bit of food was in the bowl. Biddy, let's go this way. The only thing I don't like down here is down here a little ways it's all shade, which I'm walking. It's fine. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me very well or not. I'm trying to. No, I don't want her chasing. There's cows down there. Let's go this way. I just don't feel like having her, because it's not that far from the people that own them right now, and I don't want her chasing them. They wouldn't be able to see it, but trying to teach her like not to do it. She only got into doing it because of Chewy, who Chewy was kind of her brother, and another dog that I took care of some, and then the whole trailer park took care of, and then Jerry was taking care of him. Actually spent some money on him, but he got shot the other day in the face. He disappeared, and then he showed back up still alive, but he had one of his sides. He had a big hole on one side and no skin there to hold anything in. You could see his teeth and shit, and it wasn't cool. He was obviously suffering. And he was gone for a couple days, and then it turned out he was under my trailer. Because I remember hearing that gunshot that day. But Jerry put him down the other day because he was losing weight. He couldn't eat. Like when he tried to eat, stuff just fell out of his mouth. Because one whole side was not very nice. And now if he was on somebody's property messing with their animals or anything like that, that's understandable. I don't know what the deal was, but we're pretty sure we know who shot him, and he had been shot several times. He did cause trouble sometimes, but this particular person had their backyard fenced in, and that's where their chickens are and everything. So I don't know what the dog could have been doing to have justified that at the time, unless he was because he was starting to be kind of aggressive towards everybody. So it could be that he wandered up in dude's yard and was acting a little bit, you know. Anyway, let's not dwell on that. I hate that it happened, and that's another reason. Like Biddy's pretty good at she mostly stays in the trailer park, but occasionally there is a couple places she'll run off to, like across the road from the trailer park and over on somebody else's property, like next to the trailer park and stuff. But for the most part, that's why I was mentioning earlier getting her a collar finally. And trying to, because Ladybird was the same way. Ladybird had ran free for a good while, about a year probably, until I started having issues with the neighbor and stuff. And then I finally got like that cable and everything and put her on it. And she didn't like it at first. I taught her how to walk on a leash. Like, it didn't take her long. Like, in the beginning she was a little hesitant, didn't know what to do, but she picked up pretty quick. I think Biddy would do the same. Once I get a collar on her, probably the first thing I'll do is try to use a leash and just show her, well, we'll figure it out. I'd prefer not to have a cable. Like, if I could get one of those, I know some people don't like it, but like if I could get one of those invisible fences. Now, it does shock them, but it's not like, it just teaches them the boundaries. I've known people to have the invisible fence, and then the dog gets so used to, you know, the boundary that at some point the people didn't even have to. Now, they would turn the fence on, I guess, if they left and stuff, but like a lot of times they didn't have to have it on anymore because the dog just learned the boundaries and would not go past a certain point, because it learned, hey, if I go past this point, I get a zap. But or if I can get a runner, like put 2 posts in the ground and put a cable from one end to the next and then have her on that, I think that would work pretty good. I hope anybody that is watching or listening, if you're watching, I hope you're enjoying the scenery that I'm showing off in this gravel road. If you're familiar with me, then you've seen this gravel road in my videos. You've seen me on live streams walking down it. And it's been a while since I've done this, so it's good for me. Let's see here. Checking my battery. But it's okay. Omar Glitch is live right now. And of course, I didn't share any links of this to X or anything. The only social media you'll find me on other than YouTube is I am on X, formerly Twitter. And I also have a Gab account that I do post there, but not a lot. Like I go there, post my videos into this one spiritual group. And then sometimes some of my shorts that are funny or just fun, I'll post in this other group that's like just fun stuff, entertainment and stuff. Yeah, that up there, where that car's coming from, I don't know if y'all can see it up there, but the church is not far from me now. Biddy, come here, come here, come here, come here, buddy, come here, come here, come on, come over here. No, baby, come here. No, I'm trying to keep her from. Come here. Okay, come here, Biddy. Biddy. Biddy, come back here. She does listen pretty good. That's why I'm thinking that once I get a collar and figure out what. Because if I've got a lot invested in her, and I mean a lot of time and love, you know. And I do have I will be having to deal with another litter of puppies here, and then probably, I guess, what is it, 6 to 8 weeks? I don't know. And it's going to be cold and all that. I need to start trying to network and see if I can go ahead and have. That's what I'm going to talk to one friend about. I'm going to turn around. I really feel like I'm boring all of you. Well, there's the two of you that are like here and listening or watching. I appreciate it. One of the things I'm trying to teach myself the most is when I'm streaming, don't look at how many people are watching or not watching. Just do it. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Especially like the streams when I do it at home, like whether I end up by myself or someone actually joins the stream as a guest or whatever. I'm learning to try to just stick it out. Like, you know, used to when I first started, like after 20 or 30 minutes, I'd be like, oh man, this ain't happening. Nothing's going on. Nobody's here. But it ain't about that, you know? It's about the people you do connect with, the people that do pay attention. For me, anyway. Because the main thing I'm doing is I want to make some kind of real connection with people before everything's all completely just upturned and we're living in a completely, I mean, we're already heading in a whole direction that's not very great as far as the world goes. You know, so I don't know if y'all can hear the chicken, the roosters in the background. They got a big old dog over there that takes care of them, guards them chickens and stuff. Big old one of them like one of them long-haired herding dogs, you know, like I think they're like a sheepdog is what they originally are, but you can train them to kind of shepherd a lot of different things. I come down here sometimes and see it right here, like right there. I've come down here and see it. Now, all the leaves are right there right now, but like underneath there's some rocks and stuff that come out from this pipe. Like when water runs through here, it brings new, and I found some cool fossils right here before. Now, of course, I ain't gonna mess with clearing off the leaves right now and trying to find anything, because I mean, it's fun. I just hadn't done it in a while since I fell off that wagon and shit. And I know I've said that a dozen times. But yeah, if you are watching and listening, I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing as well as I am. I'm having a pretty good morning. A few days ago, I did have some anxiety one afternoon, and then followed by a little bit of the blues, or maybe a slight bit of depression, and then it kind of went into things kind of smoothed out. I went to bed. The next day started off pretty good. And then or pretty well. And then I kind of halfway through that day, the anxiousness and then a little bit of the downness hit. But I stayed active. I think that's the day. It was the second day I was experiencing that, and that's when I got out and I did my first walk in many weeks. It was just a short walk, but it was something to do, and it got my head out of the, you know, thinking too much. I need to make some phone calls today. And I might end up doing another stream a little later. I don't know yet. I know somebody, I think my friend is doing a stream later and interviewing somebody that's it's RJ Williams, I think is his name. I think that's it. He's a writer for a comic that's coming out, a crowdfunding comic. And I think Dr. Ben is going to interview him. I don't know if that's today. I've seen it scheduled, but I could be wrong I think it is today. Unless it's another day and I just didn't look at the date right. But I think that's at 2:00. It said. So, like, I'm going to try to watch that unless it's like an interview that he recorded and it's just a premiere. I don't know. But usually I think he does it live. So, I'm trying to just let the day unfold and figure out what the next movie is. Like when I get back to the trailer, because I already streamed this morning out of my room, and I did some I read from Jesus Calling on the live stream. I read some from the Circle of Fire, where it's breaking down the prayer of the Circle of Fire and explaining each little line. What else did I do? And then there was I think somebody, see, there was one or two people like listening or watching, if I remember correctly. But that's what I was doing. I showed off Biddy for a second at the beginning of that stream, and then I just kind of went into talking a little bit, and then I had the books beside me, and I read a little bit from those things, and discussed a little bit of just whatever. But you know, it is what it is. It was one of those where I just decided to go live. I didn't really, like, I set it up all of 10 minutes before I went live, and I just sat there in the room. And like, if people aren't aware of me, like once I get like a routine, because I'd like to start doing, since I'm getting up early, like before I really start the day, it'd be nice to kind of be in a pattern where at least several times a week you see me fairly early in the morning, and I'm just sitting in my room while it's still cool. Hey there, brother. I'm always missing your streams. I'm a busy mama and grandma. I'm so glad you're doing well. Doing school again right now, but I saw your notification. I had to say hello. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by. I don't know if you hit the like button yet. If you haven't, go ahead and do that if you can. Well, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm asking you if you would do it. But, and I don't know if Troy's too. We had somebody pop in earlier and say hi. There's been someone listening or watching the whole time, though. Victoria, it's good to see you here. Yeah, like, I was just talking about, I'm just kind of getting it back in, I'm trying to get it back into the groove, you know? So, these are just random streams that I'm doing right now. Okay, thank you, Victoria. I didn't know, like, but, so anyway, you know, like, what was it? It wasn't last week, I don't think. It was the week before, wasn't it? Whenever I set up a stream in advance, you know, and had a comic creator come on and talk about his project that is already funded, and I have the preview book and the 2 metal cards, and that was fun. And I'm gearing up to, today I got to take down the Van Piglet giveaway video off of the second channel, and then announce in a small video, I'm not going to try to make it a long video, just a little short saying I've ended the giveaway, and I'll be pulling a name in the next several days. Like, once I talk to Dr. Ben, I want to see if Dr. Ben's Comics wants to come on, like maybe in the middle of the day somewhere, do a stream, and then I just have, like, there's only 5 people's names, but write them all down on a piece of paper, throw them in the hat, and do like a short fun stream. And if Dr. Ben wants to come on and talk about his stuff, and then, you know, pull a name for fun, see who it is, announce it. Maybe they'll be in the chat, maybe they won't, but announce it, you know, like, letting people know, whoever it is, that I pulled the name. And of course, the comic is, I have said in the comic, in the videos, it's not a comic that you would want to get for a kid or nothing. So it's because it's got, like, I mean, it's like cartoon characters in it and stuff, but it's telling like a true life story of what happened with Dr. Ben and that incident. You know, I've talked about it a little bit, and I don't want to like share too much of it because he can share it in more detail. But, you know, he witnessed a tragic event, got caught up in it, he didn't know what he was getting caught up in, and then was accused of being part of it, and then finally got cleared and all that kind of stuff. So some interesting stuff to talk about. We talked about it one day on his stream when I went on as a guest, and that was back around when it was coming up on the time of the anniversary of Mom's death and murder or whatever. But why don't we get back to the scenery here? I'm gonna try to get up and start walking back towards, I gotta be careful here. Oh gosh. Okay, there we go. So this is the second stream of the day. I probably might fire something up on the second channel in a little while, but yeah, it is a beautiful day. We're not going to be but in the 60s today, but we have been reaching the 70s. starting tomorrow, we start going back up into the 70s. Teresa, who is a friend and also a longtime subscriber of the channel, they've been in the 80s and stuff ever since last week. Kind of, it cooled down there, and they had a cold smell. And then after those few days, the highest that we've got up into is the 70s. We had a few days of pretty cold, and then it slowly started going back up. Like one day it didn't get out of the 30s, then the next day it was in the 40s or 50s, and then by the third or fourth day it was up in the 60s, and then it moved into last week, where we were experiencing 70s. And but last night it got a little cool again. And there's a little bit of crispiness to the air today, just because it's in the, like, I don't even think it's probably 60 yet. Well, it might be. If it's not 60 yet, it's approaching it probably, because we're about midday now. But yeah. So what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to probably sign out of here and put my music back on. Well, unless you're still there, but Victoria, it's been good to talk to you. We're trying to set up something. There's somebody that follows me and Tomcat. What is her name? Trish, maybe? I think it's Trish, but I have to go and look. Anyway, she's got a channel too, and she saw where, like, a week or, I don't know if it was last week. I think it was last week, but it could have been the week before. Tomcat was on. Oh, mosquitoes out and everything's really weird for November. Yeah, we don't have them going on here or nothing, thank God. Thank the Lord. Thank Big Kahuna. But yeah, and they weren't quite that bad this year, not to me. I don't usually get too much problems from mosquitoes. I eat a lot of garlic, so that kind of deters them a little bit. But yeah, so there was one night that Tom came on and he had his fire going, and I had to get up, and I made I made a little short, cutting him the segment where he was just like on screen by himself with the fire, and I was in the background doing something, like you could see me, and I made a little short about it. Or maybe she commented on the stream itself after it was done, but she was like, "Oh, I've got an idea for all three of us to do like a podcast or a stream," and I was like, "Cool, we just have to set it up." Yeah, I use garlic powder almost every time I cook something, but I also eat usually at least one clove a day. It depends on how big the clove is. I'll chop it up. Sometimes I eat it whole and just chew it up, but it works better if you I found out that if you take a clove of garlic and you chop it up into as small pieces as you can. I wish I had one of them things that mashes it up and makes it into, like a, but you chop it up in little pieces, and then you let it sit for a minute, and it's something about its oxidation makes it more beneficial to the body. Yeah, so yeah, Trish had said something about trying to do a stream where it's me and Tomcat and her, which I've gotten here lately where I've done some streams, and I'm just dropping a link in the chat. Of course, I'm not on Restream right now. I'm just using the YouTube app. So but I've experimented with having a few streams where I just put the link in the chat, and a couple of people have joined, and that's been, fairly decent. I prefer to try to set it up ahead of time. Like if she wants to do one with me and Tom, it'd be good to coordinate with each other and then pick a day and a time. Are we going to do it in the middle of the day? Are we going to do it in the evening? And know what time works for all three of us. Schedule it several days ahead, if not even almost a week ahead of time, so people kind of see that it's going on and all three of us can share information about it. Oh yeah, garlic honey sounds good. So that's what's going on. But yeah, I'm gonna I think I'm gonna end this one here. honest, I'm kind of out of breath. I need to, which is fine. And I'm enjoying the stream. But when I hit this road right here, I'm going to be going back towards the sun. I won't have the shadow much. It'll be harder to see the chat. The sun will be glaring at me. Whereas when I was walking the opposite way, I had my own shadow to put the phone in and be able to see stuff. But I'm going to hit this. I'm going to go up here and take a left. Well, I was thinking I still had it. See, at the stop sign, I'll take a left, and that'll take me back to that's the road I came off of. I'll go back left, and it's not that far down. Matter of fact, the towers are right over there now on the other side of these houses. So what I'm going to do is when I end this, I'm going to put my headphones back on. I was listening to some bluegrass gospel. Hadn't done that in a while, so that was kind of getting me in the good headspace. And I wonder if I can still use any of these. I bet I can. I've got a tincture at home that I made of it. It's pretty good for the lymph nodes. But anyway, so we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna get out of here for a little while. Might come back on later. I don't know. I definitely am probably gonna make another video for this channel, and then probably I've got to make that take that one giveaway video down and do another video announcing that it's over, and I'll be setting up to pull a name in the next whenever. And yeah, I'm gonna put some music on and walk back to the trailer, and then figure out what the rest of the day brings. What are they? Oh, that's poke berries, poke salad. You know, like that grows on the side of the road. You know, you've always heard like they say that the berries can be toxic, but like there's something in it that's really good for inflammation and arthritis. And also a while back, I found a video and a woman was making with I think it was apple cider vinegar and something in water. She was soaking like 40 of these into a certain amount of that and making a tincture. It's supposed to cleanse out your lymph nodes, and she said she did it like she would drink about I think a certain amount of, after she made a good size jar of it, she could use like a certain amount once a week, and it would help. Yeah, expect to me, like I'm thinking I'm going to start, like I said, trying to do some more. I'm going to try to get in a routine of y'all see me probably on here a little bit more in the morning time as well. It's just I'm trying to stay sober and maintain doing things around the trailer and stay physically active. I just started walking again, as well as trying to take the channel a lot more serious here lately. So, but it's like a combination of balance. You know, I don't want to overload myself and then be like, if I put too much on myself, it would be easy for me to slip up again. So until next time, guys, it's been great. I'm glad that you watched. I appreciate you watching. And like I said, until next time, Mr. Gray Cloud here, Sage of the Eternal Moment, over and out. Ditto.